Okay, so hey, this morning, you guys, super excited to be coming at you guys to do a little coring online. This was supposed to be our weekend for our Southeast Regional Convention that we had planned. And of course, due to COVID-19 and everything that's happening, we are restricted. So everybody's in the homes. And so therefore, we thought, hey, let's put together a little panel of some of the featured speakers that we were going to have at our regional convention. So on the line with me here today, I have Field Vice President, which means she's earned in excess of $36,000 in a 4-week pay cycle. I've got Lisa Grant on the line with us here today. Lisa, thank you for being on with us.
Honored.
And then I also have Executive Director, which means he's earned in excess of $25,000 within a 4-week pay cycle. And he's also the Mideast Regional Director. So he's in charge of all the states within the Mideast part of the United States of America. We have Big Al Yentsch. 100% of 100% is 100%. Yeah, there's so much glam in that shirt that it reflects, so we couldn't even see it. But I know what shirt you're wearing, and so anyhow. And then we're going to be having the amazing Elizabeth Weber and Phil Guido joining us here shortly. They actually had prior commitments, but so they're just going to be a little bit late, and they're going to jump on with us, you guys. So super excited to have them joining us here in just a little bit. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and share. What I would love to start off with, you guys, is just sharing background information. So like name, everybody knows your name now. So let's share about like background and how were you introduced to the unfranchised system? How did that come about? So we'll start with you, Lisa. Ladies first.
Okay, great. Thank you. And pleasure to be on. So I'm coming up in my 25th year, and I was on a plane going to Germany to visit my husband's relatives, and a gentleman sat next to me and started telling me about the unfranchised system. I had no interest whatsoever. I'd been in a couple of multi-level marketing companies, and I wasn't looking for another until I got more information, found out that it wasn't a multi-level marketing business. And the more I found out about it, actually it was my husband that when he saw the business plan, finally when we got back to the States, he said, "This is the most brilliant thing I've ever seen." And my husband has never said that about anything I ever looked at. So with that being said, I wanted to be home with my children. I was pregnant with the first one, and I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I was trying to figure out a way to do it. And when Ed gave me the thumbs up, he said, "This will work for anybody who puts effort in." I gave it my all, and within a year and a half, I was out of my job. And I've been home full-time with my kids that are now 22, well, one's going to be 20 in a couple weeks. The other one, 23. 23-year-old is a commercial pilot, all paid for by this company. And it costs a lot of money to be a pilot. And the other one, Steven, is building his business and going to college with me, building his unfranchised business. And he just sponsored somebody yesterday. I'm so proud of him. So it's been a heck of a ride. And obviously our businesses are booming right now. And I feel so, my heart goes out to all those people that have lost their jobs. But of course, we can come to the rescue and help people right now in need. So that's my story.
Love it. Love it. And when you started, and you might have already said this, but I was dealing with some admin stuff, but so you were pregnant at the time, right? Did you say that?
I was.
Yeah.
I was on a mission to hurry up because they told me it gets harder. They need, and when they're young, they really don't know a lot of times where you are. So I just worked all day at my regular job. And, of course, we didn't have online Zoom, so we had to get out. And, I just ran around and showed the business plan at night. And then when it came time when they really needed me, when they started turning 5 and 6, 7, I was always there, never missed anything. And, I can't say never, but I mean, I was really always with these kids. And they say that now. They say, Mom and Dad, we're one of the few. I mean, we have a lake house and we live in Florida now for the winters, but uh, during the day, we're out with all the kids all the time in the summer, and the parents are working, and everyone is at our house. And you've been there, Colin, and so is
It's amazing.
so is Phil. So is everybody on the broadcast has been to our lake house, and it's an incredible place, and everything is paid for. We own nothing. Everything we own is paid for by this incredible company. And we're on a roll right now and on a mission to help a lot of people.
That's it. Love it. Well, we're going to come back to that in a minute. Big Al, so tell everybody a little bit about your background and how you were introduced and what attracted you to the unfranchised system.
Well, first of all, I'm not sure if this bling shirt is kind of messing up my picture because it kind of looks different, but.
Oh yeah, you're like there's like sparkles everywhere. It's like you got like a tiara on or something.
Yes, I'll take it off. I'll change shirts. But again, hey, thanks guys. I really appreciate the opportunity. I got introduced to this business back in the summer of 1996. Playing on a co-ed softball team with a good friend of mine, Bonnie and Donnie Gallagher. I used to work with Don at the prison, and Bonnie was. Just got started with Market America a few months prior to, maybe 6 to 8 months, maybe even a year. And she just kept dripping information, and she knew that I was very competitive in sports. We were playing on a co-ed softball team, and it was a non-competitive league, but every Sunday we had all of our kids there. It was kind of like a family day for us to bring our kids and play softball and have fun and have the meeting after the meeting before I even knew there was a meeting after the meeting in softball. So what happened was, I don't know, about 8-10 weeks into it, I just said, Bonnie, what part of no don't you understand? Because, again, I just thought it was a typical multi-level marketing get-rich scheme. Really wanted nothing to do with it. Not that I had any prior experience, but there was a guy named Mark Gizzy, who's a supervising coordinator with the company today. He kept trying to get me to an Amway meeting, and I just wouldn't go. It was always the horror stories of friends and family. My hats are off to multi-level marketers that do make any money. But here's one thing. I realized to do multi-level marketing, you cannot be an average person. You cannot do it on a part-time basis. And guys, I'm as average as they come. Just because I would have never went to college if it wouldn't have been for shooting a basketball. I scored over 1,300 points in high school before the three-point line, and pitched baseball. And, I was awarded a couple of scholarships at a couple of universities, and, always went to ask for help as a tutor. I was a C student, but I knew I had to do what I do to get by. And I'll never forget, even my younger days, I had a job from shoveling snow to doing papers and, helping my dad on the milk route and the bread route. And I guess I was born an entrepreneur, but really I had no clue what that was. But Bonnie believed in me more than I believed in myself. And I just kind of told her no. And finally, the 16th week, approximately, she brought 2 coolers full of, one was a beverage, cooler full of beverage, imagine what that was, and a cooler full of Swan's chicken and steaks pre-packaged. And she just wanted to share the opportunity with me. And she, I think today you got to do what you got to do to get people to look at it. To this day, 24 years, I've built my business from horizontal versus vertical. 100% of 100%, bottom to the top. It doesn't matter what meeting I do, if it's a 30-second meeting or if it's an hour or a half hour or a seminar. The first thing I'm going to share, because that fits my story on why I kept avoiding Bonnie. But invited the whole softball team. Nobody showed up except Becky and Ronnie Robinson, who are now part of the $1 Million Club. They weren't paying attention. They came for the beer and food. And my good friend Paul Mundy came for the beer and food and definitely was not coachable and didn't even want to look at it. I was the only one paying attention. That was back when we used to use whiteboards, so you had to memorize everything. And, I had no clue what a whiteboard was in Amway, but that was basically how Amway built their business, on a whiteboard. So I didn't get negative to that. But when she showed me horizontal versus vertical, And I seen that the smallest check, see, here's what most people don't do. You got to ask people what type of income would make a difference in your life today. And that's what Bonnie did. Bonnie seen that I wanted to make an extra $300 a month. What happened was.
So that's good. Hey, so that was in the first appointment, like when she's meeting with you, was that in her approach or was that at the first appointment?
Well,
she was asking you what amount of money would make a difference.
Well,
hey, by the way, you got to turn off your virtual background. You got to go back to just like a plain background. Like it's messing with everything. That's why it's all pixelated, because you're trying to be cutesy with it, but you don't.
No, I ain't even got a virtual background.
Oh, I don't know what your camera's doing.
That's
weird.
Virtual background there. Let me go to general. Does that make a difference?
No, that don't. I mean, it's still the same thing. Everybody can see a reflection of the San Francisco Bridge is what they're saying, which means, your virtual background.
Okay, right here. Okay.
Oh, look at crystal clear. Man, you're doing like a disco party this morning. Everybody is like, what is up, man?
Come on, somebody.
Average people make a lot of money with this thing.
Come on, somebody. Sorry about that, guys. But no, I think what intrigued me is she says, Al, the smallest check we cut is $300. I said, well, man, I'd love to get a new car. Is that doable? She didn't come at me for a six-figure income. She didn't come out with residual. Hell, I didn't even know what residual was. That was like an MBA, going to college, advanced degree. So make a long story short, when I seen that you could make $300 a month, I just looked at Bonnie. I said, can you show me how to make it $300 a month? And she said, absolutely. And, I look back today, I got to a six-figure income. And she was very good at goal setting. I mean, she's a master of goal setting. She used to draw it out on a spreadsheet and have you put your debt and all that. It's amazing. She could have patented that and made a killing off of it. But that's what she was good at, and we all have good and bad and ugly, and the beauty of it was she was goal driven for me. And I didn't quit my job until I had $10, $12, $2,100 checks uncashed. I'll never forget Andy Webb. We used to say, Al, why ain't you cashing them? I said, because Bonnie says I got to show that I got so much money in the bank, cash money, before I can quit my job. Guys, leadership is key. If you're not utilizing your senior partners or even connecting the dots with other people that you relate to, that was key. So I took advantage of Bonnie's goal setting, but then I looked at Andy Webb making six figures, and I said, well, if I'm at the bottom and he gets 100% credit, why not leverage both of them? And I give the blessings to both of those guys, and Bonnie sticking in there with me. That's probably why I'm great at follow-up. And within 2.5 years, I got to a six-figure income. My wife went from being negative to supportive. So guys, if your significant other is not positive, just ask their blessings. Honey, let me try this. Support me. Let me go to a couple meetings. Because I see too many people in this company try to bring their significant other in, kicking and screaming. And what it does, it brings them down. So I asked Debbie, just support me. Let me try this. She says, as long as you get your money back. So she told Bonnie face to face, as long as he gets his money back, I'll support him. And within 2.5 years, I got to a six-figure income. In 1999, guys, I've not earned six figures since 1999. That's, for an average guy, that will blow you away when you really, truly meet someone like me.
Fantastic. Very cool. Hey, guys. And so I'll wrap this thing out. Trinity and I got introduced to this 24 years old, a little wet behind the ears. I was working for a pharmaceutical company, Bayer Pharmaceutical. Trinity was working as a telemarketer. She had her degree in TV, radio, and film, did internship downtown Chicago, thought that was going to be the dream job, decided that wasn't what she was looking for, and get introduced to this unfranchised system. So like, Big Al said, they use the chicken approach, chicken and cold beer approach. So that's an approach. And Trinity, I actually was buying some furniture. out of the paper from Trinity, and she asked me if I kept my business options open. So we call that the furniture approach. And so I had just found out my dad wasn't going to be able to retire. This was in the late 90s when the stock market dumped. And when the stock market dumped, it changed my thinking. It's kind of funny, not funny isn't probably the best word, fascinating. Let's call it fascinating, interesting, that every about, 8 to 10 years, there's a major mishap in the economy, from the stock market to the real estate and now the coronavirus. Just look at history. It's going to go up and it's going to go down. I mean, this is what's going to happen. And so for me, when it went down in the 90s and that happened to my dad and he can't retire and lost 3/4 of his 401k, I was like, that can happen? I didn't even know that was possible. And so it changed my whole thinking on financial freedom. Residual income. I thought, residual income, what's that? I don't remember that class in school. I don't remember no one teaching me about residual income. I remember telling me to go get a good job, work really hard, work my way up the corporate pyramid. And I was doing that. And I have nothing against that. So if that's you right now, fantastic, right? You're working, you're making things happen. I love it. However, there had to be a better way. And so then Trinity and I got started with the Unfranchise. Hello, Elizabeth. I'm going to come to you next. We're just sharing our stories right now. So Trinity and I, we just got serious about the business. 24-year-old kids, but there was a system. There was a getting started guide. There was a weekly checklist. You check off the boxes, expect to get paid. If you're not checking off the boxes, I should expect not to get paid. I was like, okay, man, that's like my job. This is going to work. See? So super, super exciting after a few years being able to build up a 6-figure residual income with the business. We went home with our we built this business, you guys, with 5 kids, all under the age of 7. So when people come up to us and say, oh, but you don't understand, Colin, I have a child. I'm like, oh, a child? I'm like, well, no, you don't understand. I have 2 kids. I have 3 kids. I'm like, all of us, everybody on the line here has built this with kids, man. You just have to prioritize your time. Okay. But to know that we've been full-time parents for over almost 20 years now, 20 years full-time parents where our kids are begging for a sitter all the time to say, hey, don't you got to go somewhere? Like my friends' parents who are gone all the time. It's like, no, we're right here. What are we doing today? Let's play a game. It's exciting. And so that's our story with the business, you guys. And so Elizabeth, excited to have you on the line with us here this morning. Hope you're doing amazing. And yeah, let me unmute you because you're not unmuted. Here we go. There we go. Unmuted.
Oh, good. I just got off a Zoom with some guests, so thank you for allowing me to do that. Good morning, everybody.
What's
Good
up?
morning.
What's up?
Woo-hoo.
I am so excited, man. So you want my story again?
Yeah, and by the way, you guys, Elizabeth, her title with the company is International Field Chairman, which means she's earned in excess of $125,000 within a 4-week pay period. But for me, one of the most exciting things about Elizabeth is many of us in the company are all on her team somewhere down in debt super far, but yet we've all reached high levels of success. So I look at our company and I say, somebody says, oh, well, so-and-so's grand poobah with their company and they've earned, $100 million in a month. My question is I'm like, yeah, but how many 6-figure earners do they have on their team? Let me tell you about Elizabeth Weber. So that's what it's all about, right?
That's the best part, is having so many people that have created 6 figures, with that 2 to 3 year plan. I mean, it's just amazing. And that's the most rewarding part for me. I've been with the company for 28 years. One of the crazy ones that listened in the beginning when there was nothing. At the time I was a legal secretary, promoted to contract administrator for the City of Boston Legal Department. When I was asked to evaluate this, just like everybody else, right? Somebody asked me to evaluate it. I didn't really want to. I was very skeptical, tried 9 multi-level marketing companies over an 11-year period with no success. So you can imagine my frustration, but looked at it just to give them my opinion. Little did I know what I was looking at would be what we have today. I mean, got excited. I could see myself making 6 figures because I knew that to do that, all I had to do was help other people. And just by helping other people succeed, you succeed. And I think the most important thing for me, Colin, was believing that I could help somebody else make 6 figures. That was the thing for me. It was the belief. And to make a real long story short, I flew out to Greensboro, North Carolina to check the company out. There were only like 30 people there. And I checked them out, I looked them in the eye, and made a big decision in my life. Back then, we had no systems in place. Nobody was really, we didn't even know what we were doing. We just believed in JR, the vision, and everything else. Went home, and my ex-husband met me at the airport. And I said, honey, I have some good news and I have some bad news. Good news is we are going to be rich. The bad news is I'm quitting my job tomorrow and you have to go get one. Back then the kids were 6 and 9. He's a great guy. Back then the kids were 6 and 9. I went to work and something happened. Nobody would listen to me because I had tried all these different multi-level marketing companies. I lost all my credibility. Nobody would listen. So I built this business with people I didn't know. That was hard for me because I was shy. I know you don't believe me, but it's true. And well, within 4 months, I created a 6-figure residual income. I know it's a short time, but I was working it around the clock, right? And it was worth it. And then within 5 years, I was able to create over $1 million a year residual income by helping other people succeed. And that was good enough for me, over $1 million a year. So I took several years off from building. I have never built like I did the first 5 years until now. Swear to you. So anyway, the first 5 years have paid me over $1 million a year for the last 23 years. It is true residual income. Everybody's got to understand that. You build this, you're gonna create residual income for you and your family. So I was able to start the Weber Foundation Helping Hands to give back to people in dire need. That was my focus for years. We're coming up on our 20th anniversary, but I am seriously building this business now. And the reason why is I want to help people. People need a better way. People need a backup plan. People need another income stream. People are thinking to themselves today, I'm not going to allow that to happen to me again. What happened? You know, and with our products, our plan, our company, the people, I can look anyone in the face. I don't care who they are, how much education they have, how much experience they have. I know they can do this in 2 to 3 years, especially now. We were always built on belief. And today I believe with Zoom, because I'm on it all day. I'm helping so many people. With Zoom, you can create a 6-figure residual income in 2 to 3 years.
Love it. Love it. Fantastic. No, that's awesome. I love it. So let's go to Lisa. Lisa Grant, jump back over to you. So
Lisa, we match.
I know you guys got the memo. I'm dark blue, but kind of got the memo.
Wow, I love it.
Black and brown, so I thought I'd spiff up a little with some Florida colors.
Yes, you look beautiful this morning.
Thank you. My Lauren necklace.
my layered look.
I just saw that. I said, I'm ordering that tomorrow.
I love it. I love it.
Looks gorgeous on you.
There you go. So Lisa Grant, so what were the major things, if you had to name off like 1 or 2 things, what were the major business building activities you did when you were starting your business to get it into momentum? What were like the 2 major things?
The same things we're doing today. I don't think anything has changed other than what's going on now in the world, and that we're on Zoom instead of being face to face. It's still the plan and the products and attending trainings. That's all I've done for 24 years. I think that's all I'll ever do because that's the business. It's really a simple business, but I think that people do have to understand that we are working with people. So I'm always working to get better at how I deal with people. And I'm trying to hone in my skills on that all the time because it's really important when you're working with people and leading teams that you understand that we're all different. Even though we're all doing the same things, showing the plan, moving products to the end consumers, and attending trainings, we're all different people. We all have different emotions. So in all the years that I've been with the company, I've realized that's the key, is learning how to build teams, work with people. And what you said before, I think our Al said was really important. Elizabeth has always said this. We have to use our resources. You said, I went to one of your trainings, either use the tools or you are the tool. So I think it's just so important in this day and age, especially with Zoom, that we're connecting with people and we're using a second or third party. It's so important because we forget.
Lisa, and that's what I love about Zoom. Never before could we get the entire team in one place.
So
and
true.
Be able to leverage our senior business partners and to be able to bring somebody in with the same background as the guest. I mean, big time leverage. I don't have to get ready and fight traffic and go meet somebody and come back. I mean, I'm loving this.
It's the best thing that's happened, I think, to our company.
Oh yeah.
Not of course, not the virus, but the people. Well, obviously, we build with people in all different states, and for us all to be together, you know, you're in the Carolinas, I'm in Florida, Phil's in Maryland, you know, and I know I have people on all across the country. That's huge. We were never able to do that before.
I mean, just think about it, how much it's so convenient. Like, it's all about belief, and I believe people can do this now. We were always getting like, oh, the kids games that night, or, you know, I'm not feeling well or whatever. Now they can pop on a Zoom. Even the guests, it's more convenient. And I believe it's going to make the UBPs huge.
Yes.
Because people are going to want to meet the people that they met on Zoom.
That's right. That's right.
Right, Al?
Yep.
What do you think, Big Al?
Well, let me tell you something. You got to fall in love with the plan. The plan's perfect. The plan, 100% of 100%. And, you know, what's amazing with Zoom it up, baby. This really is face-to-face. Look at you, girl. Look at you, lady. Come on, somebody. I mean, we are face-to-face. And the beauty of it is, if you're not leveraging the L factor, Steve Harris, the L factor, guys, you know, there's no reason not to make money in this company. And I'm just more excited today than ever. And
me too.
I'm my wife crazy, you know. I talk loud, and I don't really need to talk loud. But you know what?
Hey, I talk loud too. Rick had to leave. He's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah.
Hey, so let me ask you this. Let's do this. Al, let's go to you on this because you piggybacked on all that. I'm gonna let you go first on this one. So for you, for those people, wouldn't you agree that like the bigger the why, the easier the how-to? You know, yeah. I mean, ultimately, you can have your excuses or you can have your results that are exciting, right? And so when people always ask us, hey, what's the difference between the very successful people and the people who aren't succeeding as fast? What do you think is the common denominator?
Well, you know, you got to have your why. You got to have your why in front of you. Again, I was blessed with Bonnie. Bonnie Gallagher was excellent at goal setting. But, you know, it's keeping it in front of you. You know, it's keeping the main thing. It's making an action plan based around, you know, what people want. I love what Dennis said here about a month ago at our training. You know, when you sit down with someone, you ask them. I mean, this is a nugget. This is a huge nugget. What type of income would be okay for you financially right now? You know, don't assume that they don't want to make six figures, but let them speak. See, a lot of times we're doing all the speaking. Mm-hmm. We need to engage the conversation with them. And, you know, that's the nuggets that you pick up going to trainings. Another big nugget I learned from Dennis is when we get to the annual report and it shows the steady growth. You know, most companies are up, down, but we've had steady growth even in 2007, 2009, and look where we're headed in, you know, 2020. So, you know, it's just amazing. Keeping the main thing, and keep it in front of you.
And guess what, Big Al? During this pandemic, we're growing.
Yep.
Like, I don't even know the percentage rate right now, but I can tell just by my team, we are growing like crazy.
Yeah.
So we won't have a down quarter since our inception.
Yeah.
That's it. And so Elizabeth, so what would you say to some people that might be newer with what we're doing? And so as they're building their belief in what we do and what we're offering, you know, some people have have two different visions. I always say two different set of glasses that we're looking through, because it's all about perception. And some people's perception is their reality, right? So some people's perception is, hey, my heart is, I'm going to go out and bless and help other people. And other people feel like their heart is, well, gosh, I don't want to go prey on somebody. I don't feel like I should be approaching somebody right now because they're down on their luck. They're down because they weren't ready for the rainy day in the economy, right? So what would you say to that?
Well, first of all, I do it to help people, and all I got to do is have people evaluate it. It's not that difficult. Like, I'm calling all my stable and waiting distributors who really haven't done anything for whatever reason. And I'm saying, just get a couple of people to evaluate it. They may or may not be interested. I don't care. It's all about getting people to lead to people. So they get 2 or 3 people on to evaluate it, using the evaluation approach. Hey, I may have something you may be interested in. Why don't you hop on a Zoom? People will do that versus drive to a hotel to check something out. People will hop on a Zoom. All you got to do is, hey, I want to show you something. Or, you know what, I'm looking at something. I'd love for you to evaluate it. I value your opinion. Would you do me that favor? Just get them on a Zoom and then let the leaders go over the first part of the plan and build a relationship with that person. We're bringing in people every single day. We can get them looking at the business Monday, get them qualified by Friday, and in the business. Everybody's doing this. The only reason why they don't do it is they don't understand it.
They don't understand.
Perhaps they thought they couldn't do it, but now with Zoom, everyone can do it. Because
That's right.
you're doing it with you.
That's right. Love it. Hey, so Lisa Grant. So when Elizabeth just said, introduce on Monday, qualified by Thursday, Friday, some people don't know what that means. What do we mean when we're saying, hey, how many times should somebody look at the plan? Some people don't understand what we do, or maybe they've been approached on a company in their past where it was see the plan, sign up the same day. We want your $1,000, right? We're like, JR's like, if you do that, I'm going to be mad at you. Like, they need to look at this plan. How many times? How do we? I mean, it's not that we want them to jump through 50 hoops. We just want to make sure it's a two-way street, right? So Expand on that, Lisa.
Well, if you had your own $1 million company, would you just bring on any partnership? Okay, hey, you just looked at my company, come on board and work with me. So it's the same thing here. We have a different model. No one else has our model. It's unique. It works. It works for anybody that works it. And I was thinking about what Elizabeth was saying, and I'm doing similar, but I'm using I really love the product approach. I have a lot of my people that I work with are some of the top retailers in the company. I find when someone loves the product, it's so easy for them to take a look at the business. Even though I am, I'm big with the Nutrimetrics division of our company, and if I have a healthcare professional looking at it, they may not have used our products yet. But recently we did something with Dr. Cheryl Dutches. She put out a webinar on the immune system, and that went 2 weeks ago. And since then, we've had so many people ordering the products. And now I had somebody call me up and say, is there a way I could sell these? These products are amazing. So whether you're using the evaluation approach for the business, or you're showing them maybe doing a wellness 101, which Monday I'm on the phone with Jackie Blasco. She and some of her team members just created a new wellness 101 for Zoom, so that it has interaction.
I want to know about that one.
I want you to be on with me because she's got a gold mine going here. I saw the slides.
What time Monday?
10:30, but we can change it for you. This will go, this is going to be huge.
Actually, I have an 8:30 and an 11:30. I can do 10:30.
Perfect. So she and Barbara Montgomery, who created the voice of the Wellness 101, and some of her other teammates put together a very short, concise PowerPoint with interaction on Zoom. Because when a new person comes on board, now the key is to have them get their customers right away. So I wanted to mention that tonight and give kudos to Jackie Blasco. And
We love Jackie.
oh, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And she showed it to Lisa Tolbert already, and Dr. Dutches is involved. So this is going to be really very effective when the new person comes on board to get their customers. Now, I hope everybody has seen the one that Dr. Cheryl just did recently. We had over 500 people on that live, and then we've been using it afterwards. And I have people that never would order our products, friends of mine forever, for whatever reason they didn't order them. But now with what's going on with the virus and people worried about their immune systems, I got them to watch the webinar. And now I've gotten even people that weren't on it to watch it, because I'm asking them to evaluate the webinar, like Elizabeth just said with the business, because their immune system is at stake here. Only the strong will survive this. That's a fact. That's every single person is agreement with building your immune system right now. There's a lot of controversy right now about what's going on, but there is no controversy on building your immune system. So I've gotten so many people, and now I have another person that used to be in the business that wants to come back because of the growth that's happening in people ordering our products.
Hey,
And, you know, it does, hold on, Cullen, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it.
Exactly.
Whether you're recruiting to retail, although I don't recruit anymore, they recruit me, we're just asking them to evaluate it, or retailing to recruit. I mean, you got to marry them both. And there's never been a better time. There's never been an easier time. And now that we can do these wellnesses on Zoom, oh my, this is crazy.
Hey, so Lisa Grant, so if you could, so is that on YouTube, what you're referring to?
No, this is still in the making. She just finished the slides. I saw them yesterday.
No, not Jackie, but what Dr. Duchess did.
Yeah, that's already on your site. It's Jackie posted it everywhere. I'm sorry.
Is it on YouTube?
It is on YouTube, yes.
Okay, so if somebody could just type it into the chat, because everybody, okay, Rebecca Carfey, type it into the chat. What's the YouTube link directly? Because it's blowing up. Everybody wants to know what the direct link is.
Yeah, by the way, I'm using that, Lisa, already.
Yeah, I tell you, Dr. Cheryl, she's amazing.
She's awesome.
She came to the table and she needed more time. And I said, we have to do it in a half hour, because even though we do have people trapped in their homes, and they do have more time on their hands, she did such a great job in 30 minutes and covered. We also have a price list that goes along with that. So if you need that, we'll get that to you. We'll post that on the Facebook group in Florida.
Fantastic.
Because we made a price list. Thank you, David Nakaba, for putting together the price list. Joanne Orshan made sure we have a Nutrimetrics one together. Team effort. Rebecca Carpy's always helping me to do everything. We have such great teams of people here. We're all in this together, and that's why we're sharing information, because it's not just about our teams. We are Team Market America.
Yeah, and we're going to change the world.
That's right.
If I could add something to that,
Yeah, jump in.
What you got to realize is JR started this company on the mathematics first before there were any products. But JR, went out and found Stephen Ritchie in mathematics. He went and connected the dots with Dennis Franks. And if you're a guest today, or if you're brand new, really understanding the journey on where this company began back in 1992, but really was developed in 1984 on a vision. JR really, I came to the conclusion, and it's amazing how it took me this long to realize this guy's a genius, man. He is one of a kind. There's no other person in the whole world that would start a company on the mathematics first. Guys, what you got to realize is, as being new, most companies today are started because of a product or service. Our company was completely different, revolutionized the way people shop, but also the mission statement has never changed, that he wanted to create a system for the average person to be able to succeed. And think about this. If you're new, what person in the world as a CEO known by one name, would start a company and cap their income like JR did, not take a pay structure or not take a paycheck from the company for 4.5 years, built this business, didn't know any of us on this phone, but he wants us all to succeed. That's why, guys, you got to fall in love with the plan. Not right now, Gingy. I'm showing the plan. Frank Kiefer would always say, you got to take ownership and take ownership and learn how to show the plan. You're going to mess it up, but guess what? This is the most amazing time to build this business, because Zoom is pumping it up, and all you want people's help to evaluate it. So, guys, don't forget where we came from. But to this day, like Lisa says, she surrounds herself with people helping her with different parts of her website and different things. JR, to this day, even right now, is always looking to find somebody better, smarter, or whatever he needs to fill the gaps. And, think about it. Nobody has come. Nobody has left. We have an incredible business, and we're all on this Zoom today to help you guys. It's the little guy to get where we're at. So I just get excited every time I think about this concept.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing, you guys, that excites me about everybody who's on the Zoom here this morning is, not to downplay all of us, but we all just leverage the tools. We leverage the system and structure. It's not about being super awesome at any one thing other than being brave enough to ask people to evaluate it. But, Elizabeth, going back to what you were saying on that, the skeptical person, the person who's more pessimistic, right? They're the ones that aren't at our thinking level yet, let's say, as a new person even, or their significant other. They're thinking, yeah, you're asking people to evaluate it, but really it's a bait and switch because you really want them in the business. See, this is where people's brains go when they don't really genuinely feel like, no, we don't want them in the business if they're not going to do the work. Just be a customer.
Exactly.
Right.
And I always say that, hey, you may like it, you may not, but you're going to know people who are looking for something. I always say that, evaluate it. Who knows? You may like, you may not, but you will definitely know people who are looking for something right now. And I'm sorry, but everybody out there is looking for something right now. And if they can do it on a Zoom and spend, a couple of nights on a Zoom with the help of a team where they're not doing it themselves, and all they got to do is ask people to evaluate it and get people to lead to people to find the right people, they're going to be a huge success.
That's right.
That's the key, the team.
Yeah.
Team.
I'm sure everybody on this webinar today has said no to somebody that was looking at the company because we put them through the trial run and felt they weren't ready for it. That's a difference between us and a lot of the other companies that are out there. We really are looking for people that are going to follow a business system. If they're not, we don't want to waste their time. We don't want to waste our time and the team's time, because that costs us time and money. Whereas I've seen other companies that, they'll just throw you in for whatever reason. So we truly do evaluate people and put them through a test. And our president is very good at teaching us this, because this is a partnership that's going to be a partnership for a long time. So we want to make sure, number one, we like the person, that we want to work together. And number two, they are going to follow a proven business system.
Yeah, and if they can't lead to people, why would you bring them in the business?
That's right. We had one yesterday where the person, because of, their background and working in different business systems, they were so focused on setting up their account that it was like almost like an argument that they wanted in so bad. Like, well, I can't grow this unless I've got a website. And there was all these reasons why they just wanted in, and they had just seen the business and they hadn't led us to anybody yet. And it's like, why do you need a website to lead us to somebody? It's like, don't you understand? I want you to be successful, because there's no customers, there's no sales, there's no people that, are going to join your team in the kit of setting up the account. So you would think everybody would appreciate the way that we're doing it to keep retention high.
Also, Cullen, the best time to get somebody to evaluate this business is when you're evaluating it. So when you're evaluating it, just like you would if you were gonna, get a traditional business or buy a new house, you'd have a couple of people evaluate it. This is no different. And so when someone's evaluating, it's great to say, hey, look, listen, I'm evaluating a business. I'd love for you to help me evaluate it. 2 heads are better than one, or, 2 sets of eyes are better than one. Help me evaluate it. And I don't look at anybody to get them in. They got to qualify.
Well, I think the simple fact, like yesterday, I showed the plan to a Ron Redding, and I said, Ron, just say down the road you decide to do this business. What's the next thing you're going to do? Well, I'm going to put people in front of you. I said, well, Ron, why don't you do that now where you have no skin in the game? I'll text you what you need to say to your people and say, look, I'm evaluating the business. I value your opinion. Do me a favor and tell me, look at this and tell me why I should not do this business.
Love it. Love that, Al.
Yeah.
That's it. So let me ask you guys this. When we're talking about systems and structure, how soon was it before you bought into the GMTSS and building event to event? Because some people can feel like, well, I'm used to going to school, but like I go take a class, I pass the class, and I'm done. And our GMTSS is like a breathing, living organism as step by step, right? So how soon did you buy into, I just got to get people to the training system in the beginning? Did you do it out of the gate? Did it take you going first? What was it for you guys?
Can I answer that? Because this is how my business started. In August 96, Bonnie did not talk to me about a training or a meeting. And I'm sorry, Bonnie, I didn't want to throw you under the bus, but I didn't know anything about a system. But it was in November of 1996. She asked me to go to a seminar, and it was a district conference in University of Maryland with J.R. Rodinger, the speaker. And I said, okay, I'll go. I said, I'm starting coaching high school basketball in a couple of weeks. I'll go listen. She said, well, okay, how can we get Debbie there? And I said, well, Debbie ain't going, man. She's a teacher. Saturdays are precious to her. She said, well, you like cold ones and chicken. What is she like? I said, well, every woman likes to shop. Go to the mall. So we basically told Debbie, hey, we're going to go to this meeting, and then we're going to go to this big mall up in Washington, D.C. area. And we basically, she said we lied to her because we never got to the mall. But here was the key. I paid attention. JR was the speaker. That's when JR was smoking and hacking. And Debbie's like, who is this guy, man? Come on, man. And it wasn't the meeting. It was the meeting after lunch when they did recognition. And then Debbie's sitting there grading papers, but I got her to that event. It's important to say, look, support me. Just go listen. Well, she wasn't listening. She was grading papers. But it was recognition when Shane and Rachel Patterson were professional supervising coordinators at 19 years old, walk across the stage. She's seen UPS drivers, FedEx, all these, the recognition part. And basically, from that point, I can honestly say, from that meeting, I never missed a meeting. Now, think about this, guys. To earn 6 figures, I learned this from Dr. Keith Fisher one time. Do you think everybody that goes to convention are making 6 figures? And the answer is no. And he used to do 3-way calls with me. And he'd say, well, if anybody's earning 6 figures, do you think they will be at the major event? And the answer is absolutely yes. Guys, it's an education, but we continue to learn. We're learning today. I'm taking notes from what these people are saying. So the GMTSS is really the glue that keeps us together. And Phil has done a incredible job with the online stuff now with these Zooms. This happened for a reason, guys. This happened for a reason. We are face-to-face, belly-to-belly, but it's a great way of being able to bring other people. I've done Zooms this week, and I might call Tom Holden, or I'll call Cullen, or I'll call this person and say, hey, jump on at the end. I'd like to introduce you. Guys, it's crazy. So,
and Big Al, you can, I call it, hop on, or just get on a Zoom either at the beginning or at the end.
Yep.
And it helps that person set it up or close. And it's just amazing what we're doing all day long, and it's fun.
Well, I talk to people how we're not financially connected, but we really are. And I always try to get people outside my organization to prove to these people how powerful it is.
Oh, it's called a puppin.
Okay.
It's called a pup-on.
Pop-on. Okay.
Puppins. That's one of our new terms. Can I pup on? Yeah.
Hey, so let's jump. Hey, Lisa, I'm gonna jump over to you so what would you recommend? What are you guys seeing to be the most effective right now? And I would love to have everybody answer this after you, but do you recommend people jump into one of the Zooms we're doing where there's hundreds of people as a first look, or do you recommend jumping on one like this where you can see everybody in the little meeting and build a relationship first?
Oh, in the beginning, it's all about relationships. So we are always doing 2-on-1s, most 3-on-1s. I don't want to make anybody feel that we're all pounding on someone, but I think it should be done in small groups like we did before over a cup of coffee at a kitchen table. So now we're having a cup of coffee at the kitchen table, but there's just a few of us because what one person's goals and concerns are different from the next person. So you want to get to know that person. That's another thing that I've learned in all the years of this business. I always was a relationship builder, but I'm even now more than ever. If people trust you and they feel that you're going to be there for them and they'll buy into your commitment. That's very difficult to do with masses of people. So that's why I like the just getting to know somebody with 1 or 2 people on a Zoom. And I think everybody else would agree with this. And I know that that's what a lot of people are doing right now, that a lot of leaders I've spoken to. And that's why this wellness also one-on-one will just be done with 6 to 8 people at the most, because we want it interacting, we want relationships, but also going back to the UBPs that we had, and I don't know how we're going to do this, but I also think always when you're at a presentation, what sells the people a lot of the time is the end of the presentation, is the people coming up afterwards. That's what got to me when I finally did get to a UBP, because I told you my story. I was shown this business by somebody on an airplane, and it's when I got to a presentation and saw the people afterwards. I said to my husband, not all these people can be lying. You know, you're seeing people from all different walks of life. And that's what I believe when people are at a larger presentation, that's what I believe gets them to believe in what we're doing, seeing the different people and the different walks of life and the people coming from their hearts.
Can I just say something, Cullen? Because on these Zooms, I like a 3-to-1 ratio at the most. I like to get the team on there, so I'm imprinting with them. And I actually have the team, we all go back and forth with the slides so that I'm imprinting, they're actually, you know, presenting. So I'll get 2 of the team members on there, but I'll also get somebody to pop on with the same background so that they can relate. Yeah. And the first thing we do is we tell our stories, like our commercial, your name, your background, why you chose the 2 to 3 year plan, and they can relate to that. So we're leveraging big time on the Zoom, which it was difficult before when you had to get somebody to a meeting, introduce them to the people, the team couldn't be there, the team might be in another state, who knows? Now you can get them all in this one cool package and have everybody working together. Yeah. So I believe more than ever that we're gonna build this and change the world.
Well, that's what you did, Elizabeth, with Dr. Tamara Weinstein. That's why you asked if she could pop in.
Yes, because I had another doctor coming on a Zoom, and I said, I got to find another doctor. And sure enough, I called, I knew who to call, and Lisa got me in touch with Dr. Weinstein, helped tremendously. I had a professional baseball player who started his own center. Who do you think I got to pop on that one? Dennis Franks.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I honestly could not have handled that guy. I'm telling you right now, I couldn't have handled him. Dennis turned him around. He was so negative. Seriously, it was hysterical. Dennis like totally turned this guy around. He had 6 people on the next Zoom.
Wow. That's
So
powerful.
very important that you match and mirror. Never could we match and mirror before. I would feel awful saying, Hal, can you meet me at this meeting? Can you come to the hotel? Now all Al's got to do is pop on for 5 minutes.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it, love it.
How many Zooms, I mean, if you guys had to guess, right, how many Zooms, and to piggyback on what you guys are all saying there, that's what we've been doing a lot as well, and and so we've been leveraging, Trinity did 2 yesterday with Colton Whited, with some of our younger people, because Colton, Outback server to 6 figures in his 20s, just like we, back in the day, right? And so that's so important to know that we can leverage each other, but it's not just like, hey, Colton, can you do this for us? But it's like, how can we help Colton? See, this is why it's such an incredible system of everybody teaming up. So Colton's inviting people onto the same thing. See, so you can still keep it smaller. You could still do it, 10 people and then 2 different major speakers or whatever. And then we all come together to leverage each other's talents, right? But just don't let it get so big as a first look is all we're saying.
Yeah, no, listen. Colin, I did one with 9 people. It was too many. I couldn't build that relationship like Lisa said. I really couldn't with that many people. So I'm bringing them back down to 4 or 5 at the most.
Okay.
It's
good.
It's just to build that relationship, I think, is really, really important. What I did with my team all in is everybody wrote their backgrounds, what they, did for work. Like everybody wrote their backgrounds. So we go back. So if I got a bookkeeper, I know I'm calling the people in California because she's a bookkeeper. I'm going to have her pop on. But we're all helping each other with our different backgrounds. You got a salon owner, you call Pam or Deb, and people are willing to pop on for 5 minutes. Like when you asked me to be on this, I was a pop on at 10 o'clock for a big MLMer. And that 5 minutes meant everything. Because when I got on there, I said, I'm working with this team. This is one of my fastest growing teams. Make sure you listen to them. I told my story. And I said, and I want to come back on when they're ready to take the trial run.
I like this pop on. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, Lisa, you could pop on for 5 minutes and change that person just because of your knowledge and what you've done with the business. I mean, you could help so many people. And that's what I'm doing for people, all over the place. So I'll pop on and it's not hard. It's easy. It's fun.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Hey, I have a question that popped up. Can you guys address suggestions for camera, microphones, lighting with Zoom for someone who is anchored for the team?
Yeah, let me tell you something. Big Al, your lighting is awful.
Terrible. Terrible.
Awful.
Oh, that's
Lisa,
even worse.
your lighting could be better. Turn
You
your
look like an
chair
angel.
around.
Angel.
Turn your chair around.
Let me try to
Turn it around. I want you to do this because lighting is everything.
I'm gonna turn around the
Big
other
Al, get near some natural light and get behind it. Yes. Oh my God, you are gorgeous. You couldn't even see your face before. Beautiful.
That's funny because you said that when we were all on with our friends the other day. And
so much better.
All right,
so much
thank you
better,
for telling me to
Lisa.
turn it around.
Al, your lighting.
Guys, we ordered. So what I ordered was, that's the reason I got even this. You know why I got this microphone, you guys, was because it's a special microphone where somebody could be in the other room and it won't pick them up. It only picks up close to it. And so therefore it's super strong, but yet close. And then I ordered one of them halo lights that can also.
You need a halo light, Big Al.
The halo light, that's what does it, the halo light. And then the camera isn't on the computer, you guys. It's a separate camera. It's an HD camera. It's like $60. I mean, it's not that much money, but if you're going to do these, see, you can see the reflection of all the light in the background when Elizabeth does that. See the difference? And now when she's behind it, So you got a solid background pretty much with the wall and then the wainscoting there. That's what you guys got to be looking at. And so you got to get on there and test it out. You got to test out what's looking good. So I'm always doing stuff like that. How can I test certain things out to know what's working and what's not working? And can everybody hear me? What if I want to play a video? What am I going to do? So it's just a few things you're going to mess with. But in the beginning, the key to it is we just got to get this in front of people. When you're doing it for a bigger group, yeah, you want to get lighting better and you want to do things better, right? But for all of you beginners out there, don't worry about perfect if you're a beginner, because you're just jumping on with somebody to do a quick Zoom with them. Make it as best as you make it, but don't get totally anal about it, is what I would say on that.
Got any better or not?
No.
A little
no.
bit. Yeah.
I got it. My wife will tell me we need a new house then.
What is the name of the microphone that you have, Cullen? Can you shout that out?
Yeah, it's a Rode microphone that says Rode, R-O-D-E, Rode. And it's a condenser microphone. So it's also got like, there's two different kinds. One plugs right into your USB port of your computer. And another one has an XLR cable, which is more of a you need a mixing board and all of that stuff. But you don't really
got
need
that,
a
Ed?
mixing board or any of
Got
that.
to order
Yeah,
it from shop.com.
A Rode microphone on there to keep it simple. Hey, while we're doing this, I'm going to share my screen just for a second. I want to make sure everybody's aware at the end of this here today. I've been doing this recently just to keep things light and fun. We're going to play a trivia game. I created some questions that are going to be fun. You guys are going to crack up on some of them. It's going to be great, but there's going to be some learning in it, but then some fun, just like 10, 15 questions. You're going to want to download the Kahoot app from your mobile device. If you're on a computer, you can just go to Kahoot.com, and that's where, but here's the key. You're going to be able to see the questions within the Zoom, but then you're going to need your phone to answer the questions on. Does that make sense to everybody? You need a smart device, but you're going to see the questions through the Zoom I'm doing right now. So if you're on the same device, pretty much impossible to play because you're toggling back and forth and it's a pain and people get frustrated. But I'm going to give you the pin number, the game pin at the end. I did this at my ECCT, you guys, and everybody absolutely loved it because we did the study guide through Kahoot and we made it a ton of fun. And now everybody is having fun while we learn. Who says you can't have like education with entertainment? I call it edutainment. So you muted yourself, Elizabeth. Here, hold on. There you're muted for some reason. I don't know why you're muted, but you're muted. It's not letting me. Oh, there you go.
You know how JR always says, you're going to have fun. This is fun. Zoom is fun.
Zoom. That's it. It is fun. It is fun.
She's a Zoomer now.
So, so the top approach right now, I think there's a consensus on this. But Lisa, you did say you love leading more with product first. But is it still the evaluation? Are you still asking them to jump on and you want them to evaluate some information in regards to product?
Yes. Oh, yes. I think I've been doing that from the day one.
Right. So to give somebody an idea of what you're saying.
Well, when I first started, I asked my friends to help me out. And if they're not helping you out, they're not your friends. You need to find a new set of friends. You're not asking anybody to do anything. You're asking people to help you out. If anybody launched a new business, any friend of mine, and asked me to help them out, I would help them out.
Totally.
So this is no different. You are starting a new business and you're having a business launch and you want people to come evaluate it, help you out, whether it's to get them healthy or to find out how they can be financially fit. And if it's not for them, fine. But if they don't see what you're doing, I think it's very difficult for people to refer you to people that do not know what this is about. I remember my lawyer saying to me, I'm not interested. I said, you don't even know what you're not interested in. And then he said, yeah, well, I'm not interested in another thing. I said, I didn't ask you that, Jerry. I have been doing business with you for 15 years. Ed and I have given you lots of money. I'm asking you to help me out and take a look at it. He said, well, if you say it that way, then I would be happy to help you out. Same with my accountant. If I'm doing business with them, I expect them to help me. And that's been always the same. And those two guys, they didn't come into the business, but they're using the products now. And they also said that they're glad they took a look at it. And they also referred me to people. So
That's awesome.
I don't think anything's changed. It's just that JR is doing a great job at pounding it in people's heads because we're so easy to let somebody come on board with our business. And then if they don't do anything, they say it didn't work. You know, how many realtors, how many realtors go through all the testing, everything they go through to be a realtor?
Yeah.
And then what's the percentage of realtors that don't make it? It's a huge percentage. So here, I at least want to put somebody through a kind of trial, whether it be leading me to customers, leading me to other people to see the business, because then I know it's going to work for them. And that's.
Hey, Big Al, cleaned your lens. That's what's wrong with your, yes. Oh, yeah. So much better.
Come on, somebody. Come on,
purpose.
somebody.
Hey,
average
people. Average people, man.
Average people, babe. I'm coachable.
So much better.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
that's all that excitement, that saliva I'm sending over the phone when I show the plan, because I'm up like this. Bonnie says, Al, step back, man. Be back. Thank you, Bonnie.
So
She's always looking after me.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about posture. So Big Al, let's start with you on that. So posture, when you talk about posture, you talk about belief, enthusiasm. You know, what do you think is the number one thing people need to be bringing to the table when they are approaching somebody? Because what I find fascinating is some of the people, you know, if somebody's approaching some people and they're jumping, you know, they're kind of putting the cart before the horse. And, well, man, I talked to 10 people and one person talks to 10 and gets no traction. And another person talks to 10 and like 8 out of 10 are like, let's go. Like, let me evaluate this thing. No problem. Right. So what is the difference between the two people?
Well, I think the first thing, you know, you definitely gotta build that rapport. I can get a name or a rapport with someone real quick by just being myself, just having fun. You know, I had a guy at Home Depot the other day say something. And I said, yeah, Fat Joe told me that too. He said, well, man, ho, how you know him? I said, well, man, you don't know who I am. I said, well, you know, well, who are you? I said, well, I want to know more about you. You know, how long you been here? You know, I said, you look good. You, what are you, about 35? He said, man, bless you. I'm 60. I said, really? And I built that quick relationship. And I really think you got to realize we're fishing, not hunting. But here's my style. What got me into business is horizontal versus vertical. And I know some of you guys out there don't do it, but I do it on every appointment. I know JR kind of tells me not, I don't have to, but guys, it's made me millions of dollars over the years. And I really believe horizontal versus vertical. And I show it right up front. Look, this may or may not be for you, but I just do it. And it continues to work for me. So I just think the posture of they buy you, you know, it's like Debbie says, they buy her in the chair when she's talking about the residual income or this and that. So I think it's just posture. Be yourself. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person, wrong thing to the right person. When in doubt, blurt it out. Be excited about what you're doing, but make sure you're concerned and you're showing them love and building that quick relationship.
I have a question for Al, Big Al, and Elizabeth, and Cullen. Is now with the day and age of Google, people Googling, and we know that Google is not always accurate. Are you putting emphasis on the Better Business Bureau, making sure that they, maybe our credibility video right up front?
Yeah, the first thing I do is I share with them, look, you know, when I get to the Better Business Bureau and A+ rating, and I say, look, have you ever Googled yourself, Lisa? You know, would you agree anybody can write anything on the internet? Mm-hmm. My point is, back in the day, Lisa, I used to write stuff on the bathroom wall about somebody. So what I want you guys to realize, anybody can say anything about a company, but I'm going to send you this quick video that Mark Ashley did on our company. And I get that right out of the way. That's the very first thing as a follow-up I send to them.
Yeah, because I'm doing the same.
I had somebody I did a Zoom with, some very professional people, and they said, you know, I'm concerned because I read this. And I said, first of all, you know, there's a lot of hijacking going on the internet where people are trying to bait and switch. They're trying to get you to buy their products or services, so they say something negative. And then I send the credibility video.
Great.
Love it. Love it. You know, it's very fascinating because I'm quick to do comparisons because that's how people learn best. And it's like, you can look at any Fortune 500 company and they've got negative reviews and they've had lawsuits filed. I said, so if we look at one lawsuit filed, it's a complaint, 1 in 28 years. And yet you're going to focus on that. Yeah. But let's go ahead and Google Amazon or Walmart, which are the other two big brokerage companies out there, like us. See, I'm always comparing all of us in with them because they're big companies. And it's like, if you look up lawsuits for them and this page is long, but yet you still shop with them. See, so in the end, we've got a complaint. It's not even, we haven't been found guilty and we won't be found guilty, right? But also, when you look at the tracking, leverage the digital credibility video, which is what I'm sure Big Al is referring to. It's 5 minutes long. You guys, that does all the work for you as far as, you know, edifying who we are as a company. And the name hijacking thing is big. I also compare that to Shark Tank. Right now, Shark Tank, anybody who's ever watched Shark Tank, which is an investment show, right? Anybody who's ever watched it, right now, after every Shark Tank, they have a disclaimer at the end. And it says there's been they kind of call it name hijacking, but the bottom line is the keto diet copied stuff and put Lori Grenier, who's one of the biggest sharks, on their keto stuff on the internet, hijacking her, hijacking, Mike Keegan, all those guys to make money off of them. And those guys are not investors with those companies. And so they say, go to, go to Shark Tank, and then you'll see who we are partners with. Don't let somebody fool you. So guys, this is a real situation. This isn't hypothetical. This is normal in business in today's world with this stinking internet thing. So the internet's awesome, but it's also can be people jump to conclusions, which are illusions, because they read, first thing they read, they believe it. And then so but just know this too, guys, if someone wants to look for a reason to be negative, they'll find it. Yeah. If they want to look for reasons to find the truth, they'll find it. And so we provide the solution and the truth to people. It's up to them whether or not they want to make a change or not. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, if somebody sees one thing, it's going to blow them out. They're not the right person then. Entrepreneurs, people open-minded, people successful already in their life aren't that pessimistic. They're not that skeptical. They're more open. That's why they became successful already.
That's correct.
It's the people that are stuck in the daily routine of the paycheck to paycheck mentality that are so skeptical, but it also keeps them right in that box.
Yeah. Hey, can I answer a question on here from Cheryl, Dr. Duchess? Yep. She says, what are the leaders recommending on sending as a follow-up other than the credibility video? I have to tell you guys, after the first look, I get a second look, like the last part of the plan, the day after. Yeah. I don't wait until next week. Absolutely. People can pop on a Zoom right away. I'll send the credibility video, but that's about it. But I'll book a follow-up right away. And that follow-up could be either an online UBP with corporate. The follow-up could be the credibility video, but I'm always getting them back to me the next day after they look at anything else. You can do it real quick on Zoom. You don't have to wait till next week.
Yeah, you got to book.
Get on right away.
Yeah, you got to book the follow-up right away. I do not send them a video to watch because I want them in my world. I want them to see 100% bottom to the top. That's the whole key. And if they're not, then, hey, I'm not sending them anything. Well, when's a good time we get back together? Absolutely. That's a great point.
Yeah. Just wanted to say that. Before it was tough because, to get to a certain place, people don't have the time or whatever. Now you can just pop on a Zoom.
Well, here's what I've learned in 24 years. This is the first time in my career that I've gone up to the 45 versus 2 to 3. It was very, very hard for me not to show the plan.
I know.
I've done it, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how eager somebody is. I'll say, okay, can we get back later on tonight in 2 hours?
Yeah.
So, and then after I show the second part, the 45 versus 2 to 3, even in the beginning of that, I still stress my style, horizontal versus vertical. But then that's when I might send them Phil Guido's, Cullen Haskins, or somebody else's after that.
Yeah. That's a really, really good point, Big Al. See, I've always taught interview overview, build a relationship,
Yeah.
just go up to the 45 versus 2 to 3 years, your plan. I've always taught that because now, especially with Zoom, when you get back on, you can build an even better relationship and you can bring somebody different on that they can relate to. And it's just a perfect model. Now you got them like wanting to see it.
Well, here,
If you show the whole thing, it's so much information.
well,
But
here's the key. Though, Elizabeth, would you agree? They'll say, yeah, I want to see more. And then we waste the time to show them the whole thing when if we schedule that next appointment, then if they duck us, that's fine. We haven't wasted time. It's such a key to drop it.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
And you know, people can only take in so much. I've tried it where I've shown the whole thing and every single time I did, they're like, this is overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know, so I like building the relationship. By the time everybody introduces themselves and says their background and why they chose the 2 to 3 year plan, by the time you go around this Brady Bunch, it takes up like 10, 15 minutes building a relationship. So you just want to show the front end and then show them the second part of the plan later. I've had them go on the online UBP so that somebody different, like a Phil Guido, like whatever, can show it and we get right back and answer questions. And then I say, you know what? No decision has to be made. You got to take a trial run. We want to set you up for success. We want to make sure you're qualified, you know, because I can only work with so many people. And right then and there, yeah, I want to get qualified. Yeah, I want to get qualified. And it's such a simple process and it's fun.
Good.
So what would you say? Go ahead, Lisa.
I agree with everything you're saying, but sometimes you got to customize things. For instance, I had somebody that had a very bad joint problems, and I wanted to get them immediately on the bone and joint because once they believe in the product again, that's going to be easier for them to come on board. So one thing you need to do is don't overwhelm people with information and videos. And just I send one thing. I've been noticing something on Facebook because they're trying to sell you everything in the world now. But instead of a clothing company trying to sell you maybe 10 different things, they're shooting for one thing. They're picking the favorite thing and they're just shooting for one thing. I started noticing it. And now people don't have to make a lot of choices. When people have too many choices, they get paralyzed. So I say, this is going to be your homework. And then I also say, can I get back to you if it's Tuesday? Can we get back together? Of course, with the plan, you want to get back together with them immediately, as soon as possible. But then after that, you're going to give them a couple assignments. And then I say, can I get back together with you Thursday? What time is good? People are just throwing things out there without getting another time. You need to, it's the next step, always the next step, the next step, the next step.
Yeah.
I never book anything without, I'm always booking my follow-up appointment. Even if I'm sending them to an online presentation, we follow up right after the presentation. Right after it, we're on Zoom.
Yep.
Meeting
and then
after the
next
meeting.
step after that, you got to continue. And then once they're in the business, that doesn't stop. So you have to continually lead these people to the next step, the next step, the next step, till they're on their own.
And let me tell you something, it takes a life on of its own. It's amazing what happens. People leading to people, not pressuring people, just getting them to see the front end, then the second end, and doing the trial run and getting a couple of people. We haven't even had to do any text call workshops because we just send people a little script. And they're having success. And they can get people to come on a Zoom versus a meeting outside of the house.
After the first appointment, I've customized it now that when they want to see the plan the second time, the second appointment, step 1 to step 5, I ask them, is it okay that we register you as a customer? And then I'll also send you trial packets out ASAP on the first appointment into the second, because then they receive it. And then I have them on product, and then I'm showing them that I really do want them to see some of our product line. So you know, again, we measure, monitor, adjust, control, but there's steps that we take. So that's one thing I started yesterday. I met with a lady that was the catering person at the Baltimore Convention Center, and she's from San Diego, California. So what I did is I had somebody from San Diego, Sue Silva, jump on that call with me to show her that if you have people in San Diego, I can connect the dots with Sue. So again, it's just a process, but it's good.
Yeah, and now with Zoom, it doesn't matter where you live.
Yeah.
I'm on with Singapore. I'm on with everybody.
Yeah, good.
I just had a thought. I used to, when I brought on a new partner, if they were within, my area, I would take them through my household to fill out the home shopping list and then share testimonials with them of what's in my home. I just thought now, why don't I just do that on Zoom? So when the new person comes on board, I can go around my house and spend a half hour on some of the products and services that are my favorites in my own home, because people get excited about stories and that's, again, helping them fill out the home shopping list.
Love it. Love it. So one of the other things that I think the challenges that some of the people are having is mentally, sometimes when we're training, we train a very step by step system, but what you said, Lisa, too, is customization. And I think a lot of times people feel like because it's the unfranchised system and it's so systemized and JR says to do it this way, right? And a lot of us are all saying the same thing, but we're also, we've been doing this long enough that as we get into different appointments, we meet with different people, we understand that we have to follow a path of least resistance, but we also still know what that next step should be based on going fast. And we're the one that's in charge of giving urgency. See, that's the word. So if we have urgency to it to go faster, but if that person says, I would like a few days to review the information, then you obviously are backing off a little bit because that's what they're looking for.
Exactly.
See, so don't you think, Elizabeth? I think I think sometimes we get so rigid and well, it's not working that way for me, Elizabeth. So how are you able to book it the next day, or Big Al 2 hours later? How are you doing that? What was the right person? That person said yes to that.
You got to love people for where they're at. Like you got to be at their level. I had somebody that says, well, you know what? I'd really like to spend a couple of days just to, have all this information sink in. And I only showed the first part of the plan. So you got to kind of go where they're at.
That's right.
Force them, and that just shows you the more people you get people to lead you to people, you're going to find the right people really fast.
Yeah, and that's why
also, you don't know what's going on in somebody's life, Right. So if you push, you sound like a salesperson, and you sound like you need them. And I just had this go on with Catherine Knapp. She said, what do I do now? They're pushing us off. I said, tell them that we care about them. Say, listen, we're here for you. When you're ready, and you're ready to match your efforts with ours, then we're here for you. And we just want you to know that we understand.
I love that. See,
I always say, you know what, timing obviously isn't right, and that's fine. Why don't I follow back around in a couple of weeks or 30 days and just put them on your follow-up list. Just make sure you get back to them to show that you do care.
Yeah, I think it's super important when we're able to take it away from the standpoint of not needing anybody to be able to say, clearly I've offered you a solution, whether it's products on the OPC or TLS or whatever we're offering them on a product, but our product of financial freedom. I always find it fascinating when people say, well, I have a hard time, bringing on partners, but I'm great at selling, OPC3 or vice versa. The reality is everything is an opportunity. Everything we offer is an opportunity. It doesn't matter whether it's TLS or motives, or if it's OPC3 and isotonics, or it's our opportunity of financial freedom, an extra $300 to $1,000 a month. It's all an opportunity, but in our head, we compartmentalize it on, I'm good at this, not this. See, instead of just saying, I'm just great at offering solutions to people. How about that? And no matter where the chips fall, I'm going to offer a solution. And if they're not ready to receive the information yet, the student isn't ready, right? When the student's ready, the teacher will appear. Yeah. So if they're not ready to receive the information yet, that's okay. Hey, let me know when you're ready to feel better because I'm here for you. Let me know when you want an extra $300 to $1,000 a month because I got you. And then let it go, you guys, and they will come back because then it's their decision. A lot of people got to make it their idea, right? That's another piece of this.
Yeah, so true.
What do you think about that, Big Al? You look like you're hard at work there.
Yeah, I'm just answering a question about what do I text
Yeah,
out.
Big Al was typing.
Yeah, what I send out to people. Yeah, I mean,
No, I just asked him. I wanted to see what his script was.
yeah, that's what I was doing. So
I'm always learning.
always,
That's right.
always
Stealing from each other.
Yeah, we do.
That's it. You know, and one thing I've noticed too, so when we're talking about the internet age and of course the Zooms and everything we're doing, some people are probably wondering, Big Al, you just said you met with somebody, you had an appointment with them, and then you sent out the trial size marketing, because today people aren't physically able to, we can't just give it to somebody physically, right? So in this process, so in essence, then when we're meeting with people, they have an interest, we're sending them out, you just drop it in the mail, right? You're just sending them some sample packs in the mail.
Yeah, but here's the key. Once I send it out, I text them, because on my receipt, it tells me when they're going to approximately deliver it. Hey, you should be getting this either Saturday or Monday. Please call me when you receive it so I can go over what I sent you. That's key. And then, like I did with Al Block's guest, I dropped it off at her mailbox here in Salisbury. He met her at a restaurant, and he's from Virginia Beach. And I said, what I want you to do is try one product each day. Don't try them all at once. Try the Daily Essentials first, then try the Trim Tea, then try the Turn Up, and text me back after. And she's so coachable, and she's texted me back everything that she liked. She liked all three of the products I sent her, but I had her do them on different days. Don't have them take them all at once, because they're never going to see what the difference is.
Plus, they're doing it. They're actually taking it when you do that.
Yeah.
And you're building a relationship with them. I mean, you become friends.
Follow up is key.
Yeah.
Lisa Grant, what do you think about that?
I think it's all good. I remember Elizabeth and I, we've been on some vacations together, and she said, I'd be making twice the amount of money that I make now if I was even better at follow-up. And we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Because I watch how she talks to people. I've never seen anything like it. I thought I was good till I hung around with her.
I love going out with her together, man. Me and her, we
Big Al wins all the time.
It's just about making friends, and I've always been able to do that. I just love people, but I've had I've done a lot of corns with my groups, and they said, we're not like you though. You don't have to be like any one of us. As you could see, every one of us on this, we're all different.
Yeah.
And then if we had more of us on here, you'd see how really, we should have Ben Ginder on, Jackie Blasco, then you'd really see how we're all very different.
Yeah.
The thing is, I started looking into one day this Montessori method. I really like that method, because when you go to school, a lot of people say to your kids, you need to get straight A's across the board. And if that was, I did not get those. I was kind of like somebody else had said, I was not really a great student because I was not interested in school. But if we take the new person and they concentrate on what they do best, and we make them better at that. And of course, you're always going to strive to get better at things. But take your strengths and then get better at those. And then as your team grows, this one's good at that. And I teach this a lot within my organizations. I do not have to be Elizabeth or Big Al we have to stay in our, with our strengths. And then someone will come on the team that's better at something else than we are. And that's what makes up two lines of distribution. And that's why I believe I'm so successful, is that we build on other people's strengths. And as a team together, we're able to make the kind of incomes that we do.
Good. Somebody just asked me, what do I use? I just use the dollar store, the dollar store envelopes. And I have a stamp that has my website and my name, Big Al and Debbie, and I put it here and I send it out. Keep it simple. Why waste a lot of money when you're sending something out? It's simple. So it's like $3 to send this out, regular mail.
Yeah, when you're sending out the samples, you mean, right?
But I put the samples in the little packets that, like when you get something from Motos, it comes in those little bubble packets. Debbie has kept all of them, and then I just put the samples in there, put my business card, and then send it out.
What is the top, I'm going to go first, the top retail tool you're using? You know, I'm still a huge fan of the health survey. I love that it's emailable, because you can email it, somebody can fill it out on their computer, save it, send it back to you. But even if they want to print it, they print it, fill it out, take a photo with their phone and text it back to you. Because I feel like if you don't collect information from the people, now, like Lisa said, we're just trying to sell them on it. I'm not trying to sell them on anything until I get to know them a little bit more. So it's a tool that allows me to learn more about somebody. And probably, you know, again, home shopping list, I'd have to send it to them. So like I'm using the home shopping advisor from our website, because it's the shopping advisor on everybody's website is quick. But it's like the home shopping list where you check off rooms of your house and what products you're using. It's not as comprehensive as the shopping annuity survey. The shopping annuity survey is a lot more detail, but that's a step down the road as far as I'm concerned. I just want to collect some instant data on what are they currently using in their house, but I want to be a part of that process, because if I learn about them, then I can talk about our products. I don't want them necessarily to fill it out and go look at stuff on their own. I want to be the concierge on it. Is how I look at that.
Now, when you send that to them, Cullen, can they fill it out on their computer, or do they have to print it off and then take a picture and send it to you?
You could do either one. It just depends on their computer. You know, the people who have a hard time filling it out on their computer, they don't have the updated Adobe PDF viewer, which is free. Yeah. But I just tell them, hey, update it. It should allow you to fill it in, save it, and send it back to me on your computer without, you know, having to print it, use your printer, kill a tree. They can do it that way, but they could also print it out. You can do it either way, but you can't, I haven't figured out how to do it on a smart device. So they do need a computer with the updated PDF viewer to fill out the one that you can email to them and fill out.
But I like that idea, because you're finding out what their challenges are, and then you can find out what their people's challenges are. So now you can help them get on product, but then also develop a customer base right out of the gate.
That will be part of the Wellness 101 Zoom. The health survey is in there. So that I agree with Cullen, that now you know now they're telling you what they need. And also you're encouraging them to tell you about any of their other friends or family that has conditions.
Yeah, good.
Absolutely. You're building a names list. You're building a resource list off of the survey as well, which is critical. And the other side to it is it's always funny when people try to bypass steps on that. You know, it's just like, well, I'm having a hard time getting some customers. I'm like, and I always remember, like, well, how many health surveys have you had filled out in the last week?
Right.
Like, none.
I love
and
the
I'm like,
health
okay,
surveys.
well, that might be a clue, right? Help me out. Have you fill out a survey. And again, target market people that you already know are taking supplements, you guys. I mean, that's simple. I mean, today it's all over the news, all the recommendations of vitamin C and antioxidants, and then the one with the pine bark, right? I mean, there's all these recommendations happening, and then we have a solution again. So all you're doing is transferring dollars from GNC to Cullen Mart, because they were spending the money anyways. And we have a better solution, isotonics, right?
I mean, my retail sales have gone so far up, and we always had trial marketing, but we didn't have a system till Phil kind of got on putting it more in a system. But I have to say, I love trial marketing. You know, it's so nice that we have all these different options of different packets. I'd love even more. I would love a bone and joint packet. You know, I just think these packets are just, but I also do believe that not everyone should get them, just like not everybody should be allowed to be a business partner. So I kind of qualify people, making sure that they want to try the packets, because I don't want my people wasting their money, because this costs money. So I want to make sure somebody's willing to try it, somebody's going to watch the video, somebody will do a phone call with me to follow up, or I'm not giving them the packets.
So you're making sure they're 100% invested, because I think that's a key. I mean, there's a lot of people on the line here probably today that think in terms of cost or save money, right? But many people have never really thought about things in terms of investing. So when you think about investing and we say, how much is that going to cost me? That's employee mentality. And so like if I talk about how much is that ticket going to cost me, I know that's employee mentality. Elizabeth would never say that. She would say, what's my investment there? Well, my investment's $30 seminar ticket. That's your investment. It's like, what's my investment in the daily essential packets, right, Lisa? So you say, okay, hey, your investment is this, but it didn't cost you. I mean, it could cost you your health if you don't do this, right? But in the end, it's not going to cost you anything, but there is a financial investment. And what you're saying, Lisa, is we want to make sure that all of you on franchise owner, if you're investing some money into your business to give out trial size marketing, make sure you qualify the people first so you get a return on that investment, ROI, right?
We're always qualifying people.
Right. Otherwise, free has no value. So I do love the trial marketing, but only if the person is willing to do a few things that I've asked them to do. And then also a lot of people, I think, that are listening in, they give the packets out and they do not do the follow-up. And that's probably why your ratio is not as high as mine, because I'm giving it to people that want it, number one, and then I will give them the video. And I will ask them. In fact, I was talking to Cheryl one time. My son actually is a good example, and Cheryl did the same thing. He said, the guy said, well, I don't know when I'm going to watch the video. And my son said, why don't we watch it together now before I give them to you?
So great.
So my son watched the video with the guy, and the guy said, I just want it. I want to buy it right away. I want the 30-day packets. So I said, that's a great idea too. If you have a few minutes, watch the video with them right then and there.
I have a question for you guys. I know we use our own language: imprint, not duplicate; qualify, not sponsor. Do you suggest new people that don't have the posture like us to use, well, hey, cuz, I don't think you qualify?
First of all, Big Al, they're not doing this alone. They're having a senior business partner doing it with them that says that language. That's why good. With Zoom, it's important because you can get your senior business partner on. Don't ever do a Zoom by yourself. What a waste. Just do it with your business partners that are successful.
Well,
and the other thing I
can explain as a senior partner what we mean by qualify for a new person. Qualify means we're just looking to see if you qualified to know anybody that might be interested. And that's what you're going to do anyhow. If you would decide to do this business today, you're going to put us in front of some people. So, yeah.
And I always say we want to set you up for success.
Good.
You got to see this 3 times anyway. So while you're seeing it, have some other people evaluate it.
Good.
That's it. And the other thing I would add to that is always take the high road. Because I heard what Big Al was saying, maybe from a different angle than Elizabeth just heard it. And that's always important too, right? Everybody's perception or how they hear things is how they're going to hear it. And it may be differently than how you even meant it sometimes, but don't get in someone's face and be like, you don't qualify, and be rude to them. Because you don't want to burn a bridge. That's the rule we all live by.
Never burn a bridge.
To me, that's the difference, you guys, between being a pro and an amateur. The pro understands that we are in relationship building business. We love everybody. I gotta love them where they're at. I want to love them enough to try to grow them from where they're at, but are they ready to grow themselves yet? I don't know. That's why we're talking. But in the end, I'm still going to love them where they're at. I'm not going to be rude. The only way I'd be rude is if they were rude to me, but even if they're rude to me, I still try to take the high road and say, man, you must have had a terrible day to come at me being so rude. And people normally aren't rude, but what you give energy to is going to expand, positive or negative. So if you're bringing some negativity to the table, it's funny, Elizabeth, when somebody says, I don't know, everybody always still asks me if this is an MLM. And I look at them and I go, really? So do you believe it's still an MLM? Well, yeah. And I'm like, well, then of course they're going to say that to you because you still believe. You don't understand the comp plan. So sometimes our biggest fears is what we're giving energy to, and we project that on the without even saying it, but then that they project it back to us. But we're the one who is the common denominator in that equation, right?
You're absolutely right. I just want to say one thing. When I did my Zoom at 10 o'clock, these 2 UFOs were so nervous because this was a big MLMer, and they said we were on there before this person got on. And they're like, I hope she's not rude, or, I hope she doesn't give us, because I guess she's not a really nice person. And I said, don't worry about it. It's all good. So what? we get on and we just started talking where she was from, and we had a lot in common and multi-level marketing, and she was so nice. And I was expecting somebody like so mean, and she was the nicest person. It's because I was nice and asked her a lot of questions about her, where she was from, what she does for work. I just kept asking her question after question. And before I got off, I said, "You're such a pleasure." And she goes, "And you are too."
Yeah.
So if you're just nice
and I've watched you, Elizabeth, do that. I've been around you, you know, and that's what I do too, is I'm going to make a friend first. Even if my plan was to show them something and it didn't get there, I'd rather just build that relationship.
Yeah, bingo.
Here's a question from someone. How are you managing your contacts, prospects, etc.? How are you keeping track of who's and what steps for each one, for your own names list and for your team's contacts that you're helping?
We use the notepad.
The individual I'm using is I contact them, yes, through my phone. And when I book a Zoom, it asks me to email it to myself, and then I put who I'm doing the Zoom for, and then I go back on my daily list knowing where I'm at with these people, and then I follow up even with my people's people, because I want to take ownership.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Cheryl, also, Dr. Duchess, the other thing we do is as soon as we get off that first look on the Zoom, we group text. They're told to group text so that I can help follow up, so that I can also communicate with the people and build a relationship. Yeah. Hey, I'm looking forward to getting back on. If you have any questions, let me know. So always group text so that everybody can take part in that person. It's not just one person, it's what the team does together.
Well, and at each end of week, like today, I have to send my stuff to Dennis. I'm on his accountability for the advisory council. And so I have to send him how many personal, how many group. So then I'm looking at, you know, who I'm picked on my left and right, and I'm doing that. So I'm taking ownership, guys. You got to take ownership of your people's people.
Yeah, you do.
They're your people. They might be your your diamond. So.
Yeah. The other thing I do is all the Zooms, like I usually have them on the hour, every hour. I'll put the person and then a little bit about the guest, just so I know. I don't have to know a lot because I do that during the Zoom now.
Yeah.
Remember before I would have somebody do a bio sheet. Now I'm just saying, give me a little information on them, because I'm looking them in the eye and asking them a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put things in my calendar, and then I write exactly in the calendar what that person has done so far.
Yeah.
Because I could be doing something different with a different person.
Yeah.
Customizing. So when the follow-up, I have a list. I always keep a list of what I've given them, what I've done.
Yeah, and so the only thing I would add to all that, Trinity, and I keep a master list. And in the master list is their name, their background, what have we learned about them? But then if you keep them in the master list, and it doesn't matter if you have a list on paper, you guys, or if you're doing it on your computer, whatever, but you want a spot though, that's your access point where that's where the list is of whether they're yours or a team. It doesn't matter. Names, what's their background, what did I learn about them, and keep a master list, because you never know when you're going to be able to pull somebody on a 3-way follow-up call or a 3-way follow-up Zoom in order to introduce somebody to somebody. And you don't want to forget about somebody who's in process, because somebody might say, hey, call me a week from now, and you're going to forget. You got to put their name down to say, oh yeah, I got to put that in the calendar. And also we like the master list, so that way the two of us, because there's two of us, so we're going to be on the same page of what's happening with different people, right?
Right. I put things in the calendar right away. Like right away. As soon as we book it, if we say we're going to follow up, it's in my calendar.
Fantastic. Awesome. Hey guys, one thing I want to do, two things. We're going to wrap this thing up. We're coming in for a landing. First thing is I want to do some, I know, crazy, right?
Fun.
I know. Well, we're not totally done. We're going to do some recognition. I found out, I got a list as the regional director for all the new PIN levels in the Southeast for the first quarter. Anybody who had a new PIN level in the first quarter of 2020, we're going to recognize them right now. If you guys would help me with that.
I'm so excited.
Hey, what happened to Phil?
Oh, you guys, here's what happened to Phil. Thank you for asking. So what happened is, for some odd reason, and this is a lesson for all of us, we can all learn from this. So when you register for a Zoom, and then it sends you an email back with your specific registration link in it, that's for you only. And so what happens is I think sometimes people get confused. And then when somebody contacts you and says, Elizabeth, send me the link for the, and then we go to find it in our email and we click on the wrong one, not the invite, but we click on the one that's ours and then we send it out. I think that's what happened because people were logging in, a whole bunch of Phil Guidos were logging in as we started. And I'm like, how is everybody Phil Guido? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And it's like, so they got that link on accident somehow.
And he's
so
our
Phil,
leader.
yeah. So Phil was trying to get in you guys a while ago. But we couldn't get him in, and him and I tried every different way to do this, and he could not get in. So he apologized.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. We have an incredible panel anyways, but
hey,
don't
Colin,
think.
Here's what I found out about that. I had to log out of my account because I was still logged into my account. I had to sign off my Zoom, and then I logged back in. So sometimes.
Yeah, but here, and that can happen. So that can solve it sometimes, you guys. But what happened here is I had so many people trying to do it. I clicked the remove button from the panelist side. And when I did it, it blacked him because I had him open an incognito window. I had him clear cookies and cache. Phil tried everything. It wouldn't let him in. But I had to solve the problem of all these cameras popping up of all the people that aren't Phil Guido. So that's what happened.
It's funny.
Yeah.
We miss you, Phil.
That's it. That's it. Phil's been doing an incredible job with all the online GMTSS stuff. So I'm going to do the best job possible, you guys, to pronounce names here. If I do butcher a name, I sincerely 100% apologize. But I will do my best here. So the first level we're going to recognize is we have a whole bunch of new coordinators and we have some new executive coordinators as well. So again, these are all people who hit this pin level in the first quarter of 2020. So coordinators, and let's get drum roll.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Linda Estes, Marty Janice Van Rensburg, and I hope I did that. Marty, hit coordinator. Way to go. Ellen Sy, Sherry Fluke, Fred Hewson, Melissa Martin, Marina Pizarro, Saula Elashmani, said that one a little bit sideways. Saula, I know Saula, obviously salon owner down here. Tammy Thornton, Gloria C, Naomi Delva, Zio Ye, Libby McMillan, Nathan Strukel, Tiffany Davis, Kelly Collins, Yeben Lynn, John Bytel, Carrie Stone. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, you guys, I went too far. I should have put a line in here. I knew I messed up. Sorry about that. So the last, so let me put it, all right, put a line there. So the last coordinator was Nathan Strukel. Everyone else is, I'm jumping to the new pin level. So give it up for our coordinators, you guys. Way to go.
I like the sound, bro.
Yeah, fantastic, right? Little sound effect. All right.
You got a sound effect, Elizabeth.
Yeah. Nathan Strukel was the last one to hit coordinator, you guys. The rest of them, as I continued to name them, these are all our new executive coordinators in the Southeast region. So I'm going to start with the names again here. So the new executive coordinators are Tiffany Davis, Kelly Collins, Yeben Lynn, John Bytel, Carrie Stone, Simon and Dingwen Chen Kao. Oh gosh. Savitlana. Huh? Well, I'm trying to do it with confidence. I'm just being transparent, you guys. Sometimes when the names are a little bit funky, it's like my name growing up. My name growing up, every teacher would call me Colin. And I'm like, where is there an O in there at all? It's like Cullen. And yet every teacher, Colin Haskins. I'm like, man, anything other than Colin, I'll respond to, man. Even Colin. is better than colon. So again, I apologize if I mess up a name here. Svitlana Grabova, Pamela Valentin, Jan Baird, Penelope Vashon, and Zonghong Wang. Those are our new executive coordinators. So huge congratulations to all of them. Way to go, everybody. Fantastic. And the other category I was going to mention here too, and this is the only other category I was able to get from corporate. By the way, all that came from corporate. So if I didn't mention someone's name on the distributorship, then maybe the other name isn't on the distributorship at this point. But that's all from corporate. Also, I wanted to mention some of the top people that are building in the region. And these are people building it. These were people building into the regional convention. And so these are the top leaders as far as personally bringing people into the company. So these are our leaders that are going to be leading into our Southeast. By the way, let me also share my screen on one other thing I wanted to share with you guys. So just so, again, we're all on the same page of the dates and what is happening. Let's see. So this is a picture of the Southeast Regional website, masterevents.com. And our regional date, this is our regional flyer, is November 7th and 8th. And so that's going to be at the Embassy Suites in Tampa. Isn't this flyer amazing, you guys? Sarah Rudisell.
How did you do
built
that?
this thing out. Is that kick butt or what?
Hey, Sarah, call Big Al.
Yeah. So, Big Al was like, how do I get someone to do that for me? He's like, that looks cool. And it's funny because it's just, she was able to pull pictures off of Facebook and this and that. So if you don't like your picture on here, I'm like, okay, get better pictures, man. Cause she was looking on Facebook and finding stuff. But I thought, man, how cool is that?
I love it.
Yeah, very cool. So that's happening November 7th and 8th. And so with that being said, we also have, wait a second. So these are the top three. I'm only going to name off the top three builders at this point. In first place at this point, and again, this could change by November, you guys. But this
hold on, Colin. I want to video this.
Okay.
Okay.
So the top three. Oh, and hold on one second. What am I doing here? Why is that not working? Am I still in Zoom with you guys?
Yes, you are.
All right. I want to stop share. Okay. All right, there we go. So our top three, oh man, now I lost that screen. So you don't have to be super proficient at this, you guys, but try to line it up and do the best job you can. Our top three builders, okay, so far are in first place is Tanya and Shane Hovelman.
Yeah.
Who I know are part of Elizabeth's all-in team, rocking it out. And then we also have Bill and Alexandra Cummings. So Alex Cummings,
You're on my all-in team
another
too.
one who's making things happen. And right now in third place is Missy Mitchell.
Yeah.
Way to go, you guys. Come on, let's go. Way to go. Love it. So they are in the lead, you guys, as far as organizational growth.
Awesome.
To their team, making things happen. So a lot of momentum happening. All three of them. So one's in Orlando. One is in two are from Orlando. And
That's
one
right.
is Team Tampa Bay. So those are the two areas with out of the Southeast region, of course, right? So
awesome.
with that being said, the other thing I wanted to do is we're going to jump to Zoom. We're going to jump or Kahoot. So if you guys are ready, if you guys want to jump in, you don't have to play if you don't want to play, by the way. If you want to play, now is the time to make sure you have Kahoot up.
Hey, Colin, I apologize. I've got a 12 o'clock Zoom I got to get on.
That's all right.
I had so much fun.
So
I
much
love
fun.
you.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for
gotta
jumping on
go.
with us here today.
Love you guys.
Hi, Elizabeth. We love you.
Yeah.
too.
Sweetie, thank you, everybody.
Meeting us always.
Yes.
That's it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for jumping on, Elizabeth. Appreciate you taking time out to do this with us here today. So here we go. This trivia is going to be some fun stuff, and I'm getting ready to share my screen. So third place, Bonnie Gallagher. I'm assuming
Yeah.
Bonnie Gallagher. Second place is Sue And first place, and I'm wondering if it's Sue. First place is Cheryl, and I'm guessing it's Cheryl Wilson. Cheryl, type into the chat if it's you. That's awesome.
Yes. Cheryl Wilson.
Cheryl Wilson. Way to go, Cheryl Wilson.
Congratulations.
On top of it. Always making things happen. Love it. Way to go. So, guys, listen. Incredible day. Incredible morning. I just want to thank Lisa, Grant, and Big Al, and, of course, Elizabeth and Phil Guido for attempting to get in. But hopefully you guys like the format this morning. Yeah. We know that a lot of training has been coming out from corporate, and a lot of trainers are doing trainings across the country. And so we wanted to make this informal. We wanted to do it more Q&A, just kind of share our stories, but also be able to share what we're doing currently and answer some things off the cuff. We answered many of the questions that came across within the chat, and thank you for contributing within the chat. That makes things a lot more fun as well and engaging. So there might be something we're not thinking of and you guys are thinking of. And so my goal is to do one of these every week. Barring holidays or things like that. So every Saturday morning, looking to jump on, not 10 o'clock, probably looking more at like 9 o'clock in the morning, but maybe like 45 minutes to an hour max. But I want to do it more like this, just question and answer. Just going to be learning from different people in our region, the Southeast region, you guys, who's moving, who's shaking, what's going on. So some of the names you guys heard me mentioning, new coordinators, executive coordinators, people that are really growing really fast, like the leaders right now in the region, Shane and Tanya or Alex. Maybe I'll have the three of them on all next week. How about that one?
That's good.
Good idea.
That's a great idea.
Right now in the region, how about I invite them in? If that works in their calendar, you guys pay attention to the MA Southeast Region Facebook group. My goal is just to jump on one day a week and just make things fun. We'll play a little Kahoot to round things out. This one was a little bit longer because it was kind of like in lieu of our Southeast Regional, but normally I want to do it like 45 minutes to an hour. So any closing thoughts, Lisa and Big Al?
Just, I appreciate you so much, Colin, and everything you've done to grow this region. You and Trinity are just amazing people. Honored to have been on today.
I just want to say, thank God for getting out of Chicago, because I see even you, Colin, as, you've always had awesome personal growth, but, you went down there and you wrapped arms with Team Tampa Bay, and you passed the baton. Pam and Tony passed the baton to you. You stepped to the plate. You and I talk several times a week. We really relate. But again, thanks for having me. I look forward to being there in November. But please make sure you be on ours next week. Mid-East Region will do theirs next Saturday evening at 6 p.m. And I'll post it on Big Al Training Group and also our Mid-East group. So thanks to everybody. And thank you guys for taking the time to be here today, because you guys are the ones that will grow this business.
That's it. Awesome, guys. Hey, Southeast, you guys keep your foot on the gas pedal. Who can you bless today? How can we bless and serve other people? Put your heart out there first and money will follow. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you, guys. Love you.
Love you too. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
See ya.